So it's my child and one of her good friends. And as I'm sitting up here, I can hear some other kids coming around that they're not really normals, if you will. And normals by normal faces that I see, regulars, I guess, if you will. And I hear my daughter, screaming, and I look out the window, and one of the boys is chasing her, and she runs out like into the street, not into the street, but alongside of a car. So I go downstairs and I ask her if that was the right move to make, and she knows that it's not. And the boy who was chasing her, he vanished. So I said, hey, don't let these kids chase you into getting in trouble or being somebody that you're not. So I come back inside. Then I can see my daughter and her friend, and they're just watching these kids, and they're a little out of my view. So as I come back downstairs, I'm just outside. I see some rocks on the ground and good sized rocks, potato sized rocks. And I said, where'd these rocks come from? Because they're right outside my gate in the grass. So these aren't like assorted and, part of the landscape. These are just scattered rocks. There's about three of them. And they said, well, it wasn't us. The boys were throwing rocks trying to get a branch. And I asked my daughter, I said, did you move out of the way? And she said, well, I stepped back. And at this point, I'm getting a little frustrated because these rules that are set in place, she knows better. And I said, so is this what you're going to go with, that you basically stepped back? And she said, she's like, I know I should have, just left the area. I'm sorry. I said, okay. And I asked her, I said, did you see where that boy went when I came down the first time? He ran off, didn't she? Said, yeah. I said, these aren't your friends. The presence of dad there's a reason. And can you think of like one reason why that might be at this age for you?
to help to help teach me um how to be prepared for life.
But yes, but right now I'm your biggest guard dog. When those boys were down there chasing you and this and that, and I came out, where did they go?
To the field.
They went away, didn't they? That's just like if a big dog came out. There's a reason for that, okay? So you got to use the pieces that are in place to protect you. So if I don't know them, just like if you had a big dog and that dog barked at everybody except for Cameron, except for Malolo. Okay, you see what I'm saying? If that dog was friendly with your friends, if it truly like trusted those people and sniffed and didn't bark at them and its tail wagged and things like that, that's who you'd be hanging around. Same thing with me. If I don't know them or if I can come downstairs and they run away, Cameron wouldn't run away if you had a dog that trusted him, right? Malolo wouldn't either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have to understand that right now you need the guardianship because you don't know any better. It doesn't mean that you're not smart, doesn't mean you don't work hard in school. It just means life hasn't shown you yet. So I'm going to show you kids like that. They're not the ones that are going to be your friends in the long run. Okay? So in the meantime, if I don't know them, you don't know them. And it's just easier to get away from them because they're out there throwing rocks. They showed you everything that they need to know by throwing rocks at stuff and not caring that you and Cameron were under it, that other people's property. I picked up three rocks. Could have been you, Cameron, and the car. Car's not that big of a deal. Could have been you, Cameron, and Franklin. Could have been you, Cameron. What if it was Sam? What if he was playing in the backyard and one of those rocks flew over there? You see what I'm saying? Okay? And I'm not mad at you. I need you to understand it and understand it like 5 days ago. I need you to understand that that's not the energy you need to be around.
I understand.
Okay? So if they come around, just you tell Cameron, my dad said, got to go if they come back around. I would love for you to be able to play with the other kids, but there's plenty of other kids you can play with that aren't on that sort of nonsense. So you come back over. Okay?
Okay.
That's it. If I see anything else, hear anything else, then there just won't be playing with anybody, including Cameron and Malolo. Okay, so you're on your own with this one, or you tell Cameron, this is what my dad said. If this happens, we got to go, or at least remind me to go, just like you could help him.
Okay.
Okay, All right, I'll trust you on this one.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So it might seem harsh, but it's not. And while those kids might be not bad kids after all, I'm not going to wait to find that out after, one of these kids that I know has been hit with a rock or hit with a fist or been told something that's extremely mean and hurtful, because there's just some kids who just don't care. Um, and that's how you have to set your parameters and your boundaries immediately, and with a thick marker of border that this is what we're doing, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if my rules are broken, then they have to be there will be a consequence for that, which in this case is just you just won't play with anybody for some amount of time, or you can just play in very close proximity to the house. You have to protect them. And the sad thing is, as we get to be adults, we often will continue to mark those borders for those dependent on us, but we don't mark them for ourselves. Or we mark a partial border. So we don't mark them for ourselves, um, or partial borders in a lot of the ways that we move and operate in regards to the people we choose to associate with.